Welcome everybody to Catfish Weekly Along with Chat. I'm Lyle, and man, we finally got some cool weather, buddy.
Oh man, it felt so beautiful today. I almost quit my job and went fishing. Called in sick.
I understand.
Work from the water or something.
Yeah, it was. We have right now. We're at 78 degrees. We haven't had a night that cool for over a month, and last night it was down like 59. So it was really, really nice last night. Been great all day, and I am very excited about that. And we're going to have another day or so of it. So, woohoo! Can't wait.
Yeah, I'm happy for it, man. I don't think we're going to stay there very long here, but you got to do what you got to do, right?
Well, you'll take every bit of it you can get, won't you?
I will. And if it's too hot, I'll go fishing at night.
That's right. That's exactly right. I see James Dockery is in chat. What do you say we go over the list of people we have in chat and give them a shout out?
Let's do that, sir. We had Van from D3 Customs was the first one in. He was only...
Look. Jody was the first one.
I don't see Jody in here.
Well, if I did, she left a message this morning, said, first, suckers. So
don't count. If I can't see it, she don't count. So she's got to put another one in, and she's already lost her place now. So
there you go. Give it to Van, man.
I'll give it. All right, fine. I'll give it to Jody. Jeez. Before she sends me another bottle or something. All right, we've got 922 Crappie Barbecue, 351 Cleveland. Member Miss Chrissy Brown. We got Chad Nolte's made it in. That's a great name, Chad. Oh,
it is.
Like touches my heartstrings. We've got Mr. Matt from Wannabe Outdoors. We got Mike Irvin, Cat Life Outdoors, avid fisherman, Buckeye Catfishing. Scroll down here. I've lost my mouse, so I'm using it on the mouse pad here. We got my beautiful wife, D, Get Hooked on Deep Fishing. K&B Anglers, what's up, Calvin? John Patrick Jr., Fat Man and a Little Boat. Now, there's a channel name that I can get behind because.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's basically me when I go.
There's so many of us that fits.
Right. We got member a couple crosses fishing. What's going on, Betty Jean? Member Mark from Catfish and Crappie. Let's scroll down here. It does make it a pain to do it this way.
Really?
Yeah, I need my mouse.
You need to pick up the slack for you?
Here. Do what?
You need me to pick up some slack for you?
I think I'm doing all right now. I got Sean Abney. We've got Crappy Day Fish on. We got Tacklebox Mike. Moonlight Fishing. James Dockery Fishing. He's worth mentioning twice.
Yeah.
We've got Creole Catfishing. It just jumped on me. That blasted. We got Josh from the Weekend Angler. Look, Lady. Fat Boy Eric. Dave Funk. James Fultoneer. Gene Tillman. Danny Stone Outdoors, also a member, and also known as the Legend of the Mississippi. I named him that. We got Big Wrench Catfishing. Fish in the Mid-South, Bumpin' Mike Greenwell. Brian B. Catfishing. Michelle from It's All Mine. All right, let's go back down through here to the bottom. We've got Frontline Flatheads, JP3 Outdoors. Mad Catter. I lost him. Richard Ward, we got Mad Catter Catfishing. Speaking of, we got to make sure we touch on that this week.
We do.
Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah,
buddy. A couple of things to talk about with Richard tonight.
Yeah, we got Tyler Anglin. Setting hooks and crossing eyes. All right, who am I missing there, Lyle? There's Troy Real and Virtual.
Did you get John Patrick Jr.?
And I got one. I don't know if I got both of them or not. I know I got JP3.
JP3, okay. Buckeye. While we're doing this, and you can look and see that you got everybody checked in, Uh, but I would like to make an announcement, I guess you'd say. Avid's niece, that we all know has been struggling for some time, has now been put on hospice. If you would keep that family in your prayers and thoughts, I know that I'd appreciate it, and I'm sure that Avid and his entire family would appreciate that at this time, because it's been a tough road for them guys, and the things are bleak, but prayers make things go by a lot easier sometimes.
Yeah, but I hate to hear that, man. I'm very sorry, and I will definitely keep her and you all in my thoughts and prayers, brother.
Absolutely. There's Ray Smith, longtime viewer of Catfish Weekly.
Yeah. We got Carolina Catfish, and I seen Wabash Nate, Steve Lock 760, and I'm not seeing anybody else.
Got some new people in the chat tonight. We're very happy to see that. If you like what we're doing, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We have some great guests coming up before long. We're just trying to get a few things lined out to get them set. Some people have a work schedule that Monday nights are bad for, but some of them will take time out to help us to get that taken care of. They want to be on the show. We just got to get a few things worked out. So bear with us. I thought the James Fultner, is that right, Chad?
Yes, I think I seen that one just a few minutes ago.
Okay, there's Brian B. Terry Arco had a great video out today. I watched it this afternoon. It had a hell of a takedown on it, man. Yeah, I need to check that out.
I will have to check that out because I have not been able to be on all day.
Yeah, when you're working like that, hell, there's Dale Hayslip.
Hey, Dale,
But
thanks.
yeah, I would like to congratulate you on getting monetized. It should have happened a year or so ago. You and D have worked extremely hard to make that happen, and you've been blowed by YouTube, which I know that happens. It happened to you. Were not the only one, but
Nope.
there was no reason for it that I could ever see. I still don't understand why. You should be monetized on
I'm thinking about
two
sending them.
channels.
I'm thinking about sending them an email and tell them they owe me back child support.
Well, yeah, that's kind of, that makes sense to me. Cody Robinson, welcome. But yeah, you should be monetized on two channels instead of just one. So um, see what hard work and perseverance will pay off in the end. And you guys have put your time in to get this done, and I hope it works out really good for you. There's Jeremy Tournament Cats. I believe he will be on the podcast with Mark right after we get done, I think. Okay, what was that? I missed it. You took it down.
Nothing. Let's move it on along there. Tom from LG Bass. What's going on,
I
buddy?
gotta go back and find that. I don't trust you.
Maurice Cason. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not, James. Yeah, I got enough toys.
Oh man, but yeah, we'll see where it takes us. And I've actually already reached out to another person that I know that happened to. They're going to start trying to push back on their channel, the original channel, to get their hours up, and I'll try to walk them through the same thing that I did to see if we can.
Did you mention Maurice Cason is in chat?
That old good old friend of mine, Maurice Cason.
Oh, Catfish branded. Josh, I left you a message. I don't know if you got it yet. I had come up with a subject tonight, Chad, that is fishing related, not necessarily fishing. Like I had said many times before, we usually don't fish the whole month of June simply because it is spawn everywhere around me every year. And at $5 a gallon or thereabouts, what's the point of going out and sitting in the boat, running it, and using up all that gas if you're pretty sure you're not going to catch any catfish? Now if you want to go get some bluegills or crappie or something like that, that's okay. but you still got to get the boat to and from wherever you're going. And for me, that's the biggest part of an hour or over, no matter where we go. So to spend that kind of money, I want to have some success on something. If the bluegill's not biting, I want to be able to catch catfish. If the catfish is not biting, I want to catch bluegills. But pretty much everything's been in spawn around here the entire month. So it's time to pack wheel bearings or work on your boat, do something. But it's been so friggin' hot, you couldn't do that either. Now we got a couple of days that's not so bad. So maybe we'll get some of that stuff done. But I think from what I'm seeing and hearing that the fish are starting to come off the nest in some areas. So I'm excited about that.
I'm very much hopeful they are, because even Saturday night I went out by myself, and my buddy Bill, he was out on the river as well, and he went up around the corner from me, and neither one of us caught a fish. Luckily, J-Dog was out there that night, I know, and Mason landed a nice, beautiful 35-pound blue cat. So
very nice.
Hopefully that's a sign of the bigger ones are coming off, but it's been slow.
Yeah, it has. And it's like that every year. And like I say, the whole month of June, pretty much somewhere in the United States, there's fish on a nest. So with that being said, has the gas prices affected the way you fish at all, or how much you go?
How much I go? No, but it's where I go and how much I'm traveling. Yes. $5 a gallon is definitely going to put a hinder on me going, say on a 2-3 hour trip, or even say, if I wanted to go down to Bama for the weekend, or Watts Bar, which is like 4 hours away. That stuff's not going to happen very often. So more likely I'm going to hit small ponds, or, I've got a couple boat ramps that are 15 minutes away for the Ohio. So it doesn't make it as bad. It's just depends on circumstance and what kind of water you have around you. Like where I have a 15 to 25 minute drive to the Ohio, somebody like you, like you said, it's an hour, 2 hour drive for you to go to bigger fish water, right? So,
well, basically 30 to 45 minutes from the closest place to go, and that's not my place of choice. For my places of choice, the lake's always swamp. It's 45 minutes. The good places that I really like to go are an hour and 15 minutes.
yeah.
So,
yeah. Now, see, like you said, I'm going to continue for right now until things get better. I'm going to hit those local, like I found some, local ponds and stuff to go bluegill fishing, and I don't have to take my boat. So I don't have to haul that or, anything like that. I can just pull my truck up to where I'm going to fish. And that might.
Josh says the larger cats are still spawning in the local lakes around him. The flats are loaded with aggressive dinks in the 2 to 5 pound range. I'm targeting what's biting. That's exactly right. And like I have mentioned many times before, the Missouri Department of Conservation has changed the regulations on our local lakes here, and they allow you to keep 10 underfish, which that's 26 and under. 26 inches and under. So that's in the 2 to 7 pound range, roughly, depending on the fish. Some of them are a little heavier, some of them are a little lighter, some of them are longer, some of them are fatter. You know how that works. But if you can keep 10 of those, that's still a fun day. If 2 of you go out fishing, that's 20 fish. Well, hell, that's more than I want to clean. If I'm going to keep fish, I'm not going to keep that many. There's only Cindy and I. And so we're probably not going to keep 20 fish every time we go out. But if I could catch 25 or 30, that's a fun day of fishing. That makes it worth the while to spend $100 to go out on a day, because you get $100 worth of fun. Does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense. And it throws out another thing there is what are you going for? Are you going out there to fun fish? Are you going out there to eat, catch fish to eat? Or are you chasing a giant? If you're going to, more than likely right now, I wouldn't go anywhere thinking I'm going to try to target the big, the monsters. I'm going to go try to have fun.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go try to catch eaters.
Yeah. I'm going to say in a week or 2, you'll start seeing some of the bigger fish come off. Now, some areas I've seen them catch some bigger fish, like you were saying about Mason. Some of the people I know out east have caught a few, but they, like I say, they don't all go on the same day, so they don't all come off the same day. But I think the majority of them hit the middle, and there's a high percentage of fish that spawn at the same time in each different area when the water temperature and all the stars line up for them to start doing their thing. So
I still don't believe that freaking lake has any fish in it. But I think you and I are pretty lateral on the. If you go straight across, you're pretty much due west of me. So,
right.
I think, like you said, probably in the next week, we'll start seeing a lot more, fish coming off where the bite will be a lot better. So, I've always heard July 4th. I'm pretty sure there's another underwater calendar that they watch, and after July 4th, we should be good. So, just letting everybody know that.
It's probably the calendar on your phone.
Really?
What did Dee say?
She said they're probably using the calendar on my phone. Speaking of the one that fell in the lake out in Lake Wiley.
I love it, Dee. That was awesome. Welcome,
I'm treated
Curtis.
like this at home too.
Welcome, Curtis, Skip, Mr. James Smith. Glad to see you in here tonight. That's classic. I like that a lot. Oh,
Changing back to fishing subjects. Now I am starting to try to make more of each trip, whether focusing on the bait and stuff like that. And that's not the only thing. Prices of everything going up. If you're used to buying shad or skipjack or whatever you're using for bait, that's gone up 30-40%. So
yeah.
That's why I've done quite a few bluegill trips and those moon eye trips and stuff like that. I'm trying to stock.
I wonder if the guys that use chicken, if they have to pay a bunch more for chicken, if they'll learn how to throw a cast net and get their own bait. Like Peter.
Probably not.
Peter knows how to throw one. He just chooses not to. They have a unique way of catching their bait out there, Chad, as you know.
Yep.
They have those little white bass, and they catch them on bait rods, which would be a ton of fun.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Speaky rig.
So there's not much net throwing with them guys. But they catch those bait, and I've watched Jeff Manning and Dieter and James Smith and all them guys out there want to be outdoors or not. No, I'm the wrong guy. But they catch them, and sometimes they'll catch 50, 60 of them at a whack. Other times they'll catch a few, but it just depends on where they're at, where they're located, how big the school of them there is. But man, that to me, that looks like a lot of fun. There's Lee. Hey Lee, how you doing with Uncle Lou Ross?
I did, and if you have not went over and checked out that new video that Josh from the Weekend Angler put out, I would highly recommend, especially if you are a creator that does lives or even recording off of your phone.
I agree. I haven't got to that yet, but I was going to mention that. That was really good. Flathead says I found Chad's phone. His cellular calendar is full of scheduled naps and nothing else.
Hey, I do like a good nap.
Yeah, I do too. I had one today. I usually don't because then I can't sleep at night. Hell, I didn't sleep last night anyhow, so I guess it didn't matter. I got a message from our buddy James Docker. He said that Tex Montana passed away today, and I didn't know who that was. And he says he's a great outdoors guy, so keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Pardon me?
What was his name?
Tex, Montana.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know that I know him.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him, but if James says that he was a great outdoor fly, welcome, buddy. Mike Sampson, Sandy with Silver Fox Fishing. Mr. Gadget, welcome. But yeah, to be quite honest, like I said, we don't fish too much in June, but we haven't had the boat out since we come back from Wisconsin. Uh, I wanted to do some things to it before I took it out, and it was too hot. Now it's just right, so maybe I can get some of that stuff done. But uh, I've been saving back money uh,
Oh,
just so I can uh, buy
thank you.
gas. Becca, thank you so much. We appreciate that. It's
Very,
awesome
very.
to be in here. But it's a oh, he calls them white perch, not white bass. He says they're good to eat too. Well, I
Oh,
like that.
the white perch.
Yeah.
See, I don't. I mean, you say that, but I've seen the white perch that I have seen. I don't even know if they'd make a fish stick because they're only like, 4 or 5 inches
Well,
long, 6 inches maybe. I guess they get
some
bigger,
of them
but
that those guys catch are that size, but a lot of them are bigger than that, and they catch them on about everything. From what I've seen them catch them on worms and stuff, and I've seen them use pieces of little bitty pieces of cut bait of the same species. They just whack them up into little, half-inch chunks and use them. So I don't think they're real particular. If they're biting on about anything. Which brings me to a subject before we get back to the gas issue. I know you've been catching moon eye and freezing them. Have
Mhm.
you tried any of the frozen ones yet?
I have.
And how do they hold up under being frozen?
Good. I vacuum sealed them as soon as I was, able to get home, and packs of 4 to 5, and they're holding up really well when I thaw them out and hook them. So,
And they've been froze for how long?
I guess what, 3 or 4 weeks now, at
Okay.
least.
Yeah. Well,
So,
there's, like shad didn't last very long frozen. If you're going to use it in a few days or a week, maybe two, but after that, they don't have the bone structure for them to take being frozen, thawed, and stuff like that. And I wasn't because I never did freeze any of them. I didn't know how they worked out, and I'm glad to know that you can do them.
there's a good question. So, talking about that, yeah. So, exactly, when we got them back, we had them on ice, and literally wiping them down, I think helps a lot. Lyle is making sure they're dry before you vacuum seal them to get a nice airtight. And I'm not having any issues so far. Now, granted, I'm using them in a time where there's not really anything biting, so I don't
Right.
know how well. So maybe in a few weeks we'll be able to see how well they're holding up.
Oh, I want to know. Fishing and stuff. Key says we're just going to have to bank fish, I guess. Oh, and do more DIYs. Well, we're looking forward to that. I
I,
promise you.
that's right. But that'll definitely be, I think, something that happens a lot with even with the boat guys is from time to time a little bit more bank fishing. So
I just, ASK, how you doing, buddy? The problem I have with that is I can't take a chance. I don't want to be walking up and down a muddy bank where a boat's been slapping water up against that bank. Take a chance
yeah,
on falling. The other thing is I don't like crawling over rocks. I watched a video yesterday of Jay and Cole, and I'm just about done watching them catch snakes. That's just ignoramus right there. And he catches them fish or them snakes. Went in the water under a rock. He seen one go underneath there. He went in there after with his hand, pulled the damn thing out, and it bit him. And the one before that, he got bit 2 or 3 times. And I can't. I'm not going to watch that anymore. That's ridiculous. And I guess he thinks it's funny, but I see nothing funny about getting bit by a snake. And
Been there, done that. No, it's not.
I'm not going to do any of that. And that's where them snakes are at, usually, is in them rocks. So I don't want, man, if you fall on one of them, it hurts. Hell's
I
fire. I don't
agree.
want none of that. So,
But with
that's
that
the
said,
reason I got against bank fishing. Now, if I had a place like Tom, LG Bass has got, where he had a big old dock to fish on, I'd be okay with that. But if we have one of them around here, it's a public dock, and you got to fight all the people. And I don't want to do that either. That's why I have a boat.
it's true. But I have a special favor to ask. With all that said,
Okay.
that if you by chance do go bank fishing, whether there's rocks or not, please have a chesty mount and also have Cindy recording you walking down through there. Because if and when you decide to take a tumble, I, James Docker, and I could probably name a few others, would love to see the video footage.
Yeah, I have to tell you, at some point before long, one of these days, maybe fall, maybe sooner, I will be doing probably some bank fishing. And it will be with James Dockery. And if he gets me in a spot where I'm going to bust my butt, I'm going to whip him with that fishing rod. So we definitely want the cameras rolling for that.
Gosh, I can just see you guys trying to beat each other with lures and
I got to
everything
tell
else.
you, I haven't had so much fun as we had last year with Katie and James in the boat up in Mendota. We absolutely had a wonderful time with those two. They're about as much fun as you can have in a boat, I promise you. And great people to be around. And James, my God, he catches a lot of fish. A lot of fish. We've been doing schools for MDC, taking care of the youth and the people that don't know about fishing and stuff. He teaches them what he knows, and not just fishing, he does other subjects too, including snakes. Something wrong with that boy. I'm telling you, something wrong with him.
Walking a boat.
But I watched some young guys last night walk on a boat and bust his butt and slid into the Ohio face. There you go. Yeah.
Goodness.
Boat ramps, especially under the water, are notorious for being super slick. And if in the spring after the floods they wash all that mud up on them, oh man, it's not much any more dangerous than that.
Mm-mm.
So
No.
I would like an explanation for that, please.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking there's some edited video that Richard Cluck has not released of real gals taking a
Might be
couple.
a story behind it. You just never know. I seen something a minute ago, but I gotta go back and find it.
Mr. Gadget, I hate to hear that. Mid-20s.
Oh,
Definitely keep
that's too bad. Prayers, buddy, for you and your
Prayer.
family. That's too bad.
But yeah,
She's not going to give us a play by play. That's too bad. Whoop.
do what?
I went to do something and hit the wrong button, so I'll take care of that here just in a moment.
See that? We'll get back to the talking about the gas prices and stuff. Lyle, you know, D and I do love to travel.
Oh yeah, me too.
And yeah, I know you used to do a lot of traveling with all the tournaments and that kind of thing. And I started out with the tournaments that scene a couple years ago. Really started getting into it, and with YouTube, I've really discovered I like to travel and fish new waters. And that's the part that I'm struggling with now. Is I would love to take a trip out to see maybe fish out in Missouri, something like that, or go back down to Bama. I really want to fish more of the Tennessee River, those areas. But it's really $5 a gallon when you're hauling a boat, like you said, 13 miles a gallon if you're lucky. It don't get you really very far when you're
Well,
looking
here's
at
here's
$50 to fill it up.
that's right. Here's the other thing: you got to travel to get to those places, so you got half the amount of gas mileage your vehicle would have got without the boat.
Yeah.
And then, unless you camp, which I'm past that in my life, you got to buy motel rooms. You can't. I never really figured you could count food because regardless, you've got to eat anyhow. So I never worried. I never counted that towards anything. And you either go out or you can take stuff with you, or you can fix it in the motel room. Cindy used to take crock pots and fix stuff for us in motel rooms. We come home or back to the room and we'd have our meal all set and ready to go. And because to be quite honest, sometimes we was too tired to go out and eat with everybody. Now we did a lot of times, but not every time because we'd just be wore slick out. We'd start at daylight trying to find fish, and we wanted to have 3 or 4 places to go in case somebody beat us to a spot. Now there were some times when didn't nobody beat us to spots, but for the most part, you got to worry about that. You just do. But Fat Man and Little Boat gas went down 30 cents. It's 4.65. Well, the last time I looked was Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember which, and it was 4.55 here. So, and
Well, I'll tell you
ethanol
what,
stays a
we got about
dollar a
$2
gallon
more
more.
to go. About
Pardon
$2
me.
more to go, Lyle. Too much. About $2 lower, and I'm ready. I'm heading somewhere.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. It's just crazy to have to pay that kind of money for fuel, and then buy all the other stuff. And to be quite honest, I don't see no end in sight. Uh,
It'll be a
yeah, I
while.
think he needs to um, come up here, Danny, and fish the Missouri. The Mississippi is one thing, but he wants to fish that Missouri. That is something that you hear very few people say. I want to fish the Missouri River. I mean, there's people that say that, but not near. The Mississippi is a lot calmer through the state of Missouri. Now, when you get on down below, it gets pretty wild. But
Yeah.
the Missouri, from South Dakota on, it's a wild child. That's just all there is to it. But I love it, man. It's awesome.
Oh,
Oh,
before we
looky
get
here.
what? Or
Unless
unless you,
you come here, Lyle, a room and food. Woohoo!
she ain't kidding about the food, my friend.
I'll bet that's right. I can't wait for some
I
of
think
that.
I think she might even be able to fill your belly
Fill
up.
me in.
Yeah,
Well, I do like to eat. I've seen
you
some of
do. I know. Hey,
yeah.
real quick before we move on, we are 1 week away from July 4th. And what do we got going on July 4th, Lyle?
We are going to give away to one lucky winner that is a military personnel or veteran 2 of Richard Ward's bank rod holders. They look awesome. I had them in here. I can't keep them in here because they're metal and I don't want them poking holes in different things. They look very sturdy and very awesome. And to win those, you go to the Catfish Weekly group page on Facebook and put your last rank and branch of military you did, and you will be entered. And we're going to be putting those names up this week and the list of people, and then we're going to put them in a randomizer. Chad will help me with that. We'll get it all set up. We'll get all the names in a randomizer, and then one lucky person will be the winner of those 2 bank rod holders. So uh, they're really nice. And Richard, we can't thank you enough for everything you do. And tonight, for the first time, I have prizes to give out that from Mad Catter Catfishing, Captain Richard Ward out of St. Joseph, Missouri, and they will be fishing rigs, and we will show them a little closer to the end of the show.
All right.
So we'll be doing that, so that'll be awesome.
Here, just shortly, then we will get. I have the giveaway tool open. I'll get that set up, and we will start letting people put the hashtag in.
We have Joe Newman. Welcome. They don't even know he's in the show.
You got to warn a brother before you bring a face like that up here.
I
They say,
told Carl, I said, Mom, if there's gas prices to be discussed, I want in.
What do you say
dude,
there, Calvin?
that's a big subject to be on. I got to tell you.
Well, I tell you what, it's really put a kink in my fishing. Being able to travel the way I have been in the past, um, it's bad enough just being able to put gas in the truck to go back into the work this week. It's gotten so ridiculous. We're at I know some people are higher than we are, but we're at the $5 mark right now. And
Yeah.
that's just it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
just
I've seen
absolutely crazy.
$7 prices out west.
I was going to say, I think they said the national average, and this was maybe yesterday or the day before, and I know there's been some fluctuations with it coming down a little bit, but the national average was 5.05 a gallon. So I think everybody is somewhere close in that range, no matter where you're at. Unless you're in some of these, high populated areas, New York, Chicago, California, period, then you're paying probably $6-7 a gallon, $8, who knows. But I think the rest of us are probably sitting right around that same uncomfortable $5 a gallon.
Yeah, I've seen some pictures from out around California at $9 an hour, $9 a gallon.
How do you justify even going to? Well, they got to be making a lot more per hour than the people in the Midwest do, or they wouldn't even be able to afford to drive to work.
Exactly. Well, those that I've been seeing, out in the West Coast, that are sitting in those $7, $8, $9 gallon gas prices, they basically are camping out. If they live outside of the area in which they work, they're camping out in their cars basically. That's what I've been hearing, man, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous that happens.
Oh, wow, Mr. Gadget. Thank you so much. If you'll message me what you want to do after the show, I will go ahead and add that, and that'll make a second prize to the giveaway next Monday night. We thank you so much for that. Nobody in the world deserves to win stuff more than our veterans do, and we'll be happy to do that. Like I say, just message me after the show with all the details of what you want to give away, and we'll make that happen. Thank you. And Frontline Flatheads, thank you so much. We appreciate the $9.99 super chat. I seen Josh had sent us one, but it got away from me before I sent it. Josh, thank you. We appreciate everything you do for us.
I must have missed that one too.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable that these guys um, don't care how bad they hurt the little people. And I'm talking about disabled people, people on fixed incomes,
Yeah.
stuff like that. They're not able to get out and make a living, so they rely on a small, mediocre check from the government to survive on. And right now, I'm thinking one fill up a month's all you're going to get if you can afford to do that. If these people haven't saved up some on their own, say retired people, uh, or older folks, if they haven't saved up enough to do stuff with, they're sitting home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't can do anything else.
Well, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but I actually live with my mom. My mom well, she's not disabled, but she's elderly. She has to get around, with a walker, and she doesn't. No, she can't get around as well as she used to. Unfortunately, she also has lupus, so that takes a toll on her body. And we've been actually very thankful because I'm the one that takes her to her doctor's appointments, and we've been very thankful that she hasn't had. And her appointments are in Augusta, which is like an hour and a half away from us.
Oh,
So
wow.
we've been thankful that we haven't had to take any trips lately to her doctor's appointments. And we're hoping that what'll happen is that the gas prices will go ahead and lower on down in the next month or so, because that's when her doctor's appointments start, coming back up again. But we all know that the summertime is the gas prices always jump, during the summertime. There's more travelers on the road. There's people going on vacation. They're traveling, back into the vacation destinations. So every year, this time of the year, the gas prices jump, but they're usually a minimal jump. And what I've seen in the last month or so is an extreme jump in gas, not just gas prices, not just gas prices. I mean, everything across the board. I work in a hardware store. I manage a hardware store. That's what I do for a living. Besides,
You've had a lot of hammers fall off the shelf, haven't you?
more so than you would think, Chad. I got a lot of knots on my head. But the thing is that everything in our store, we literally cannot keep up with the price changes. And it's like every week, sometimes every other day, these prices are going up, and it's absolutely ridiculous how that happens. So that's unfortunately, you're right. They're not looking at the little man. They're not looking at what it's doing to America for them to do, to do this. And then they're going to make themselves look good. And of course, I'm getting on my little political stand here for a minute. They're going to make themselves look good by, we're going to drop the inflation. We're going to bring it down. And then they're going to, come out looking, like a rose. You know what I mean? But in reality, they're the ones that did the damage to begin with.
I really don't think you'll see a significant drop in price until the 2024 election. I think it'll go down then. It'll go down then because that's the only way that the guy that's in the White House now will have a shot at winning, is if the bottom falls out of that. That's the only way. That's right,
exactly.
Chad.
I'm gonna start reeling you guys in here in a minute.
I've said this many times before. I said I have a co-host to pull me back sometimes.
I think most of us would be in agreement and all that good stuff, but let's talk about just how it's affected.
Cindy has run in here. Cindy has run in here sometimes and opened the door and says, "That's enough. That's enough."
I'm going to start muting everybody. Anyway.
But I mean, it's seriously. In all seriousness, it has gotten really bad out there. I know everybody's feeling the pocketbook pain. It's what I call it, the pocketbook pain when they go to the gas pumps. We're not able to do, a lot of us aren't able to do what we love to do simply because it's either put gas in the truck or car, for that matter, and go back into the work, or put enough gas in the vehicle to make a trip, and then worry about how you're going to make it back into the work for the rest of the week. And that's basically where I'm at right now.
Unless you're like Chad, independently wealthy, and it doesn't matter what the gas.
You know how much overtime I have to make D work? Just like
fill up the boat. I have to say though, I seen how she spends her money. You got a TV screen for a depth finder.
They don't work no more.
What?
What?
You throw her fishing rod or river. What did you do to this? There's a story here, Kevin.
I gotta get out there and see if there's a short in one of the wires or something. I went out Saturday night. Well, I went out Saturday night and was through my cast net, caught some shad, and had the boat running. Depth finder was on. Down the seat, went to take off and got about halfway down the creek, and all of a sudden my depth finder shut off. Well, that's weird. Couldn't get it to come back on. Went out to the end of the creek and got it to the mouth of the Ohio and anchored up about 30, 40 yards above the mouth of the creek. Threw my anchor out, turned the boat off, got all my rods out. Started messing with it. Went to start the boat. The boat wouldn't start. I'm like, oh, great. Here we go. So I had to end up pulling that battery out and put. I had an old auxiliary battery back here from the original trolling motor, and put everything on it. And I was able to start the boat, but couldn't get the depth finder to come on. So I don't know what's going on. I have to.
Sounds like you got
a
bad
fuse
wire at the positive or the ground one.
Yeah, that or a fuse, maybe a fuse blew. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. You could have done that. We have several new people that have joined us in chat. Freddie's Outdoor Adventures, your buddy from Thursday night. I see Frank in here. Sean T Outdoors, Crazy Hillbilly. I see David Smith. Welcome, my friend. Outdoors in Indiana with Dave Scott. Bank Fishing Adventures. Have I missed any of them, Chad?
I don't.
Moonfly. I think we got him. But that was several that had jumped in here. We're glad to have all of you in here. Buckeye Catfishing. It's awesome to have you in here. Be sure to hit the like button if you don't mind. And if you really like the content that we have, please subscribe to this channel. We're trying to keep it going, growing like it is. And there's Kevin from Palmetto Cats.
What's up, Kev?
The spawn has been treating me just fine because I know they're in spawn and I ain't on the water.
Every time I've been catfishing, I've realized I should have just went bait fishing. That's how bad it's been. I mean, other than Father's Day, I did catch that nice flathead when D and I went out there. It has been horrible around here.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's tough for everybody. And just to let you know, Chadwick, we have had 3 or 4 people sign up tonight since Deep posted that link a while ago in the veterans giveaway for next Monday night. So that's awesome. Glad to see you guys are participating in this. You deserve it more than any of us. And as it stands now, we'll have 2 giveaways. We'll probably throw in some more while we're at it. You know what I mean, Chad? So it'll be a lot of fun.
That's right. There's the Big Bullock Experience, Kevin's twin brother.
we even have the same haircut.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I forgot about him. What have you been fishing at all, Kevin?
I went Father's Day. Matter of fact, I went up there for Father's Day and actually probably in retrospect shouldn't have, because about halfway there, well, about 3/4 of the way there, I started hearing this awful squealing coming from my boat trailer, and I went on anyways and fished. Yeah. So yeah, I burned a hub up.
Oh wow. You got in though, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I literally made it back. Let me tell you something. If you're ever an atheist or you ever doubt God, have a hub, in the process of burning up, and you're praying to him. I tell you what, I started praying and I was like, Lord, please just get me home. All I want you to do is get me home, and I'll take care of it when I get there. And literally, right. I kid you not, literally, when I pulled into my driveway, that back right wheel wobbled for the first time. And I managed to get it into the backyard. I parked that baby right back. And matter of fact, I'm looking at it now, right back, smack in the middle of the yard, and unhooked her from the truck and said she will not move again until I get this hub fixed. I burned that sucker clean up. I thought it had gotten so hot, I thought I was going to melt the rubber off the tires.
Dude, the best story I got for that is the last, 3 or 4 years ago, Cindy and I went to the Mississippi River Monsters, and we pulled in there at the boat ramp for the big tournament, where there was a private ramp that we used because we rented a dock just to slip to put our boat in. And Doc and I was standing there talking, and Bink and Janet pulled in with their boat, and they had loaded it up, and he had a bearing out right there on the boat ramp. Now, if you've ever been to those ramps at Memphis, they're like this.
Oh
both of them,
Lord.
straight up and down and long way to the top.
Holy mo.
And Doc and I got
Oh,
in there, and Bink had some parts, and we pulled that off and changed his bearings and repacked them, and right there on the boat ramp, because Bink had just went through some surgery, and of course he couldn't, and I don't think he knew how anyhow. But Doc did, and I knew about it. Of course, I was in that business my entire life, so it was no big deal. We just grabbed grease and went to work, and we got him fixed up. And uh, Doc Doc Lang's number one thing when he was doing tips on Catfish Weekly, the number one thing, thank you, Bill, um, was keep spare parts. Doc kept 2 complete hub assemblies in his truck in case he had problems with his boat trailer.
See,
2
yeah.
complete. Bearings, hubs, seals, everything. All you had to do is take the nut off, the retaining washer, the cotter pin out, slide the old one off, slide the new one on, mount your tire back on. You was down the road motors. So
Yep.
uh, Doc is
You
the
know,
most prepared man for traveling I know of.
the funny thing about that story and about Doc's trip, uh, uh, tip was the fact that everything I have that's what I would call non-fishing related on my boat or in my truck has come because while on the road there was an issue and we didn't have what we needed.
That's right.
I now carry 2 spare tires every time I go somewhere when I could go somewhere. And whether I'm going to the local lake, or Lake Sinclair, or if I'm going out of town when I can. And I carry 2 spare tires. Why? Because I literally had 2 blowouts. Now, fortunately, I had a good spare tire, and I had a halfway decent spare tire with me. I went ahead and put a good spare tire in the truck because I wasn't 100% certain if I did have a blowout, well, I'd want to put that piece one on there anyways. But sure as the world, I had 2 blowouts coming home from Santee. And I wound up having to, so now I carry 2 good spare tires with me at all times. Just like the tools, I've got a set of tools on the boat just in case something happens while I'm out on the water. That way I got tools to go back in there and work with whatever I got to work with.
Me too.
Why? But I mean, and the question is why? Why do you have tools on the boat, Kev? I got tools on the boat because I broke down one time in the middle of the damn lake. Oh, excuse me, I didn't mean to say that, but
And that's something else. A lot of people carry jumper cables on, and there's been times when I wished I had stuff like that to help people that was stranded out on the lake or the river. But we got a jump box now.
there you
And
go.
if something happens and mine won't start, I just jump it off the jump box. It'll jump it a whole bunch of times. If somebody else is broke down and they need a jump, I don't have to worry about jumper cables and uh, spark and stuff. You know how that goes. You just hand her the jump box and say, "Here, get your boat running," and hand her back. And we take it with
Yep.
us everywhere we go. And let there be light. But
Yeah, I had to turn
yeah,
on some light there.
you have to be prepared. Kevin,
yeah,
thanks so much for jumping in here with us tonight. We're going to do some giveaways. You can hang out if you want or whatever you want to do, but we've got some stuff to give away, and I want to make sure we do that before we're too late.
I'm glad you reminded me. I
I
have it
understand.
ready to go.
I tell you what, I'm gonna let you guys do your thing. I'm glad that I was able to come on here and speak with you guys tonight and be with you. I'm gonna go ahead and jump off right quick, and we'll holler at y'all later. Okay, buddy?
Thanks, sir. What night is you and Kelly show?
That's gonna be tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern.
There
We'll
you
have
go.
we'll have somebody that you guys hadn't seen in a long time. We'll have Catfish Bill 66.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen Bill in a while. You're right. Well, good luck. We'll see you then.
Yes, sir.
All right,
10
buddy.
4. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. All right. There is your.
All right, the screen's about to get so much prettier in 3, 2, 1. Oh, he didn't leave.
Oh,
There you
good to have Kevin jump in here with us for a little while tonight.
I seen Squirrel and I see Brian Bortz.
Brian Bortz. Nice.
We got hashtag Mad Catter. Get them on in there, ladies and gents. And You want to go back over again what this was for? Because it's been a few minutes.
Yes, these are for mad cat or catfishing rigs. Now, it appears to me that this is a 2.5 inch foam float with a rattle on it, a couple of beads, a swivel, and an 8/0 circle hook. And it all comes in a package. You can't see it because of my green screen, but that's just the top of his Mad Cat or Catfishing logo thing. And there's what's in this one. Now, the next one is different. Oh, you have one of those. There you go. That's what you're getting. Just
There you
exactly. Yeah.
There you
I
go.
think that's an 8/0 circle hook. It may be a 7, but there's no standard on companies that make those hooks. What is a 10/0 circle hook with one company is an 8/0 with another company. So, but these appear to me that they're 8s. I would use those for channel cats or blues, whatever size that they are. Maybe Richard will put them in here because I don't know what brand they are. And the second one is going to be for the rattle type. Has a rattle and another rattle, has the same circle hook, a 3-way swivel, and 2 beads. That will be the second giveaway for tonight.
All right.
Pretty cool stuff.
So we got 42 people entered in.
Nice. You would think 42 people have 90 people watching. There would be more than that entered. But hey, if they don't want to enter, that's up to them. Somebody will be the winner.
That is a very, very, very fair point. Let's see. We'll give it another minute or about another minute on this one, and we'll go ahead and give it a spin as we
Absolutely.
are closing out on time here, or coming down on time.
I think Mark's used to us running over a little bit, but we don't want to run over too far tonight. If we know he's got him a good guest on there, and we want to make sure that that we get out of here at a decent time.
Well, sometimes I do this on purpose.
Well, I know, and he does too.
I know. All right, we're going to give this about 10 more seconds, so we're going to give spin number 1, and then we're going to get a second spin about 2 minutes after that one, and then we'll be done with both of the giveaways. So get it in there. We got about 5 seconds. Here we go. Spin number 1. If you haven't got it in there, go ahead and get it in there, and we will spin again in just a moment. But spin number 1 goes to the Legend of the Mississippi
Outdoors.
Congratulations, Danny Stone.
Danny, you should know the schedule, so just message me your shipping information. We'll get that right out to you. Thanks so much for watching the show and being part of it. Brian Bortz, that fish you caught the other day and made a thumbnail out of was a giant.
Yes.
Giant. Very nicely done, sir.
Said he was up towards my way this weekend. I knew he was.
Is that one of your fish you caught?
Yeah, it was one of my fish. It was coming up to see me from Louisville. He was probably only about an hour and a half away.
We need to get Brian back on here.
I think we should do that as well. All right, we're going to get ready to spin this here in about 30 more seconds. I see we are at 50. Now, I really like keeping Danny Stone's picture up there because even though he's in it, that fish is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is. That is a beautiful fish.
So we'll get ready to spin that here in about, like I said, here about 20, 30 seconds. If you have not put in hashtag MadCatter, just like Clearview Outdoors put in, do so now. But yeah, he did catch a monstrous fish. And
did
Ryan,
you hear the weight of it?
No, from what he said, that he didn't have a scale big enough to weigh it on the kayak.
Wow. That's one of the issues with kayaks. And I know guys stand up in them. I'm not sure I ever would, but Ryan's a big guy. When that fish looks big, when he's holding it, it's a big fish.
Yeah, Ryan's like, he's 6'13", Yeah, probably. I don't know how much he weighs, but he's not a slouch at all. He's not a small boy, and that fish was big. I don't know. I couldn't even take a guess at what that fish was.
He says, I apparently need those leaders. I broke one off bigger.
Wow, bigger than the one he caught.
Yeah, that's awesome, Brian.
All right, I'm getting ready to spin this again here, Lyle. I'm going to hit this
She
draw
stopped.
again. Last look at Danny Stone's beautiful fish.
Not
There we
dancing on the fish.
Yeah, definitely not Danny Stone. Buckeye catfishing.
Awesome.
Congratulations, Jim. This message is Mr. Lyle.
Absolutely. We'll get it shipped out to you, and you win the one with the rattle in it. And Richard Ward, thank you so much, not only for donating the rod holders for our giveaway next weekend. That means everything to us and a lot of other people. But for the donations for the giveaways that we're going to do for a while here on Catfish Weekly, in the evening, there'll be several rigs and different things that we're going to give away and ship out. So make sure that you tune in each week. If you're interested in winning some of Richard's stuff, it's great stuff, great quality from a great guy and a great partner to Catfish Weekly in the catfish industry. Got anything to close out on tonight, Chad?
I don't like. Well, yeah, I do. Just like you said, remember if you are, an active or retired veterans, go over there and check out the Facebook group and fill that out for a chance to win. Just want to thank everybody for being a part of it. Again, thanks to Richard Ward for the donations and Mr. Gadget. I've got a message from him, Lyle, that I will send you the info on. So thanks for everybody for helping out with that.
Yep,
absolutely. Mark.
That's exactly right. Now, don't forget Thursday night to watch the Bait Shop with Chad and Freddie, followed by Panfish Nation with Mark and I. We'll have a great show on there. We got
Eric Massey this week?
Eric Massey's on this week as our guest. Should be a great show. He was scheduled for the first week, but he had his weekends mixed up on the days that he had off. So it is Thursday night. Be a lot of fun. Eric's a great guest, and you don't want to miss that. And we'll be back next Monday night right here on Catfish Weekly. Be sure to tune in to the Catfish and Crappie podcast coming on right now.
All right.